Okay, now we're going to talk about inductive and deductive reasoning. The inductive reasoning, we can say that it's from specific to general. So, in way that we want to teach the kids is to find something that it means something specific, and so we can see what the process. Through the process, we can go to the general. For example, if we have a set of numbers, and so the students will estimate, and part of the estimation is the process of inductive. So, two of these they have a very distinct opposing instruction approaches in far as inductive and deductive. Both approaches can offer certain advantages, but the biggest difference in the role of the teacher, we can say, is that the teacher have to find a way, in a simple way, to identify those two approaches with examples, modeling, so in practice. The main thing is focusing on practice, so the students learn and figure out different ways to the difference between these two approaches. So we can say that inductive is looking for a trend or pattern and then generalize it. Look at set of numbers, for example, data sets, numbers that represent sales of the year, and let's say that we're going to estimate what these numbers represent, and we're going to find out if they follow a certain pattern. The numbers could follow a pattern, and they could mean something more than just those sets of numbers. We know we have those numbers. Those are specific sets of numbers that we will figure it out if it is follow a certain pattern, or this belong to some kind of data or estimation, and so we can figure it out, all of that. But in the meantime, we're getting something specific that we're going to turn into something big, something more in general. Okay, so that's what inductive means. But so the other approach will be deductive. So in deductive reasoning, we start with the fact. So with something concrete, with something real, with something with the generalization. To this is a different way than inductive, because over here we're going to start with the generalization and to go to something more specific. Okay, for example, the teacher, as a teacher, we're going to be representing some wording, some new vocabulary, for say. So we're going to say letters that follow this pattern or follow this grammar. We're going to give them instructions on how to identify these words, but at the end of the lesson, what they're going to know is that, oh, there is a rule that apply to these words. Okay, so they identifying that there is a rule. Okay, so we can say that with the deductive method is inductive instructions makes of students noticing instead of explaining a given concept and following this explanation with examples. I will present many examples showing how the concept is used. The intent of this is for the students to notice by the way the examples and how the concept works. So we can find how these instructions work. The students will get those instructions from the teacher, and they will explain what the instructions means. For example, the teacher give them examples of certain words. We could use like words with accent, and then they will figure it out if they have accents. They all after this letter sounds so strong. This rule applies to that. So then we'll be figure out that they will figure out that there is a more like from general set of instructions, we can finish with the concept and with the rule for that apply to the generalization of instructions that we got from the teacher. So we can play with this and give them a little use technology to reinforce the learning, and so the students can better achieve the understanding. To facilitate for this type of instruction, I will use any audio, and especially for the visual impaired kids, use the vital optical aids as needed, argumentative and alternative communication methods, and also for the speech impaired students, I will reduce the noise around the room in the classroom. I would like to keep the students close to me, or the area that we work in, is we can work in groups or close, and also as professionals assistants to include signing language and various communication boards of electronics as needed.